Hello and welcome to the news at 5. I'm Dominic Iwiwa and these are the stories and reports we're tracking at the moment. Justice James Omotosho of the Federal High Court Abuja has adjourned the trial of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Mr. Nnamdi Kanu, on alleged terrorism to October 16th. The trial was adjourned following the inability of the Nigerian Medical Association to present its report on the health status of Kanu to the court. Justice Omotosho had, at the last adjourned date, ordered the NMA president to constitute a board of medical experts to carry out investigations on the alleged deteriorating health of the defendant. The NMA president is to also report to the court whether the medical facility at the DSS headquarters can cater for Kanu or he should be moved to a private ward at the National Hospital. At the day's proceeding, counsel to the federal government informed the court that the medical board had contacted them saying the report was not ready for presentation. He therefore applied for a week adjournment to enable the NMA medical board conclude its investigation. Following no objection to the adjournment request, Justice Omotosho fixed October 16th for the board to submit its report. The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has described President Bola Tinubu's recent approval for the recruitment of an additional 30,000 constables over the next few years as a demonstration of unwavering commitment to addressing manpower gaps in policing and enhancing security delivery across the nation. The IGP, represented at the ceremony by the Commissioner of Police in Imo State, Danjuma Aboki, made the statement during the passing out parade of 264 recruits at the Nigerian Police Force Training School, Nekede, Owerri, Imo State. He says under his leadership, the Nigerian Police Force is dedicated to building a modern, reformed and professional institution that Nigerians can trust and take pride in. Our correspondent, Eitop Ekutei, reports.
The Commissioner of Police, Danjuma Aboki, arrives at the Nigerian Police Force Training School in Nekede, Owerri, Imo State. He inspects the guard of honor and takes the salute, marking the official commencement of the ceremony. It's no doubt a day of pride, honor, and new beginnings as these 264 recruits, 162 males and 102 females, drawn from Imo and Abia states, officially joined the Nigerian Police Force as constables. Speaking on behalf of the IGP, the Imo Police Chief reminds the young officers that the ceremony is more than a graduation. It's a call to national duty and patriotism. He emphasizes that the President's approval for the recruitment of an additional 30,000 constables highlights the government's determination to enhance security delivery nationwide.
It is pertinent to note that the constable being passed out today make this recruitment of total 20,000 recruits in office as the Inspector General of Police. The ceremony taking place simultaneously at all police departments, including Nekede, nationwide. The conclusion of 6 months intensive training, a period that has tested the endurance, discipline, determination of these young men and women. Today, it takes a solemn oath to serve their nation with courage, loyalty, and integrity.
Representing Governor Hope Uzodinma, his Chief Principal Security Officer Shabagbu Yako commends the Nigerian Police Force for its professionalism and reaffirms the state government's support for security agencies operating within Imo State.
I extend my sincere appreciation to the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, PhD, MPM, for his veterinary leadership and continuously effort in reforming the Nigeria Police Force. Your commitment to professionalism, discipline, and community partnership has continued to restore public confidence in police across Nigeria. We have maintained strong partnership with the Nigeria Police Force and other agencies, and we will continue to provide the necessary logistic, welfare, and operational background needed to sustain peace and order in the Imo State.
Majority of the newly graduated constables have been deployed to their states of origin in line with the Nigerian Police Force policy on community-oriented policing. This strategic measure, according to the police, is designed to foster local trust, enhance intelligence gathering, and strengthen collaboration between the police and the communities. Ejitope Kutai, Channels Television News.
Nigeria will be committing 5 naval ships, 2 helicopters, and a detachment of special boat services to the 2025 exercise Crocodile Lift, which was flagged off today aboard the NNS Kada. The Chief of Transformation's Naval Headquarters, Rear Admiral Monday Unehire, who represented the Chief of Naval Staff, applauded the contributions of the French Navy towards organizing the exercise, which is geared towards a safer or more secured Gulf of Guinea.
It's organized under the auspices of the French Commander-in-Chief for the Atlantic. It is planned to enable freedom of navigation in the Gulf of Guinea by strengthening coordination in the fight against maritime crimes and insecurity. Accordingly, the objective of this year's exercise is the creation of a safe and secured maritime domain through the simulation of an amphibious operation towards safeguarding the Gulf of Guinea against piracy, sea robbery, oil theft, and other forms of criminality.
I am confident that the exercise will positively impact on our readiness for amphibious landings and combat operations, as well as expose other maritime agencies to the benefits of interagency cooperation. You will recall that the International Maritime Bureau in 2022 delisted Nigeria from the list of piracy-prone nations. I'm glad to say that 3 years on, the Nigerian Navy has maintained the zero piracy incident to date.
So it's a great honor for the soldiers and sailors of the amphibious group to be in Nigeria today to prepare this exercise, and we'll all be glad to cooperate and work with your ships, or your fine ships and troops during this exercise.
The Commissioner of Police has ordered the impoundment of some vehicles over their failure to provide their tinted permits as demanded by the police. Speaking to journalists at the ever-busy Mile 1 area of Port Harcourt, the Commissioner of Police, Olugbenga Adekboju, says they are yet to receive any court order stopping the enforcement exercise, and that all who do not have it will have their vehicles taken off the roads till they get it.
The vehicle has its papers intact, but it does not have permit to use a tinted vehicle, and all the document he showed has no evidence to show that he has that. Though he is complaining that they told him that this is factory tinted, he may not have to get a permit, which is a wrong information. So I think they also need to be sensitized to know that his vehicle is tinted. It's something you can see for yourself, and for him to be riding on such vehicle in the town, he's supposed to have a permit where all necessary information about him will be known, so that if he's used in committing any crime, we'll easily get him to answer for whatever crime the vehicle has been used to commit. But now he's going to be impounded so that he can do the necessary thing, be advised on what to do, and to let him know how the tinted permit looks like, and for him to go and get one, because from now on he will be stopped from time to time until he gets it. If not, the vehicle being used without the tinted permit will not be allowed, so that we control the rate of crowd. Criminals and crimes are being done by people who normally have tinted classes without having due diligence information on who owns such vehicle.
Some of the affected motorists regretted not having the documents, but assured that they will get it, while another, who commended the police for their enforcement action, displayed this for all to see.
I went they are disturbing me for tinted permit. So I went for the tinted, but they say my glass is a factory fitted glass, not tinted. I did not tint this car. This is how it is. This is how I bought it. So the court issued an affidavit of change of engine and tinted and factory fitted glass. So they go to the police station, and they themselves say from the court they did this from the police.
Not like I'm not aware. I'm aware they are stopping the tinted permit, but I don't know the actually dates. Yes, that is it.
It's announced to get the original tinted permit. And how did so I was able to get my own. How long did it take you? About 1 month and. The capturing, how was it for you? It was not easy, but I have to do it. To get it. So what do you think about the enforcement drive of the Rivers Police Command? It's a very good thing so that someone can have his own tinted permit.
Amnesty International in Nigeria has released its report on human rights violation and abuses in the southeast region of Nigeria between January 2021 and December 2024. Mr. Isa Sanusi, Director, Amnesty International Nigeria in Enugu, stated that 1,844 persons were killed between January 2021 and June 2023 by state and non-state actors. Also in the report are human rights violations, including arrest, torture, and extrajudicial killings of the Southeast Ebube Agu paramilitary forces established by the Southeast governors in April 2021. While putting the number of deaths caused by the unknown gunmen between January 2019 and December 2021 at 400, the group wants the federal government to begin addressing the security crisis in the region by carrying out transparent and impartial just investigation for justice, fairness, and equity.
Ms. Benedicta Ofili.
The persistent failure of the government to address the security crisis in the southeast region has created a free-for-all reign of impunity in which numerous state and non-state actors have committed various serious human rights violations and killed over 1,844 people between January 2021 and June 2023. The Nigerian authority must also address the issue of missing persons and ensure that all the atrocities committed in the southeast region are appropriately addressed. Gunmen killed over 400 people in Imo State between January 2019 and December 2021. This report also reveals how the state-backed paramilitary organization Abu Beagu, established by the Southeast governors on 11 April 2021, has been used as a tool to harass and intimidate opponents and critics of the state governments. It is also responsible for arbitrary arrest and detention and torture, extrajudicial executions, enforced disappearances, and destruction of homes. During military operations in the southeast, Nigerian security agencies, including the military and police, committed unlawful killings, arbitrary arrest and detention, torture, enforced disappearances, and destruction of property.
The leadership of the National Association of Nigerian Students is leading a protest which it says is against economic sabotage and in support of Dangote Refinery following the crisis between the company and Pengusin. Members of the association gathered in the Oworonshoki area of Lagos State today with their messages on banners and placards in a protest they say is directed against economic saboteurs whose actions undermine national stability. Through this nationwide demonstration, the association says it hopes to send a strong and unmistakable message that Nigerian students will no longer fold their arms while a few individuals attempt to hold the country to ransom. The association is equally calling on the federal government to act swiftly to salvage the situation and safeguard the collective interest of Nigerians. You're watching the news at 5. Still ahead, the federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to climate-smart agriculture. That and more when we get back. Welcome back. The federal government has reaffirmed its commitment to climate-smart agricultural mechanization and post-harvest value addition to ensure sustainable food and nutrition security in Nigeria. The Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Mr. Abubakar Kyari, stated this in Abuja at the presentation of the 2025 Agricultural Performance Survey conducted by the National Agricultural Extension and Research License Services of Ahmadu Bello University and its development partners. The survey revealed growth in the production of major staples like rice, maize, sorghum, millet, yam, and cassava. The minister also announced plans to institutionalize the dry season agricultural performance survey to make planning more data-driven and strengthen support for farmers nationwide.
In terms of mechanization, for the 2025 APS findings presents both encouraging progress and critical challenge. On a positive note, the report confirms steady growth in production of major staples, rice, maize, sorghum, millet, cowpea, yam, and cassava, all of which show increases over 2024 levels. This progress, coupled with a significant drop in food prices across all zones, is a clear reflection of improved supply conditions and cumulative effect of our ongoing interventions in input support, extension delivery, and mechanization. We shall institutionalize the dry season agricultural performance survey as a complement to the wet season APS, ensuring that national agricultural planning becomes year-round, data-driven exercise. We will also intensify the support for local fertilizer production, enhance climate-smart agriculture, and strengthen extension systems by recruiting and equipping more agents as well as leveraging digital tools to reach a greater number of farmers.
The movement for the survival of Ogoni people, Mossop, has welcomed President Bola Tinubu's recent directive to the National Security Advisor, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, and other relevant stakeholders to initiate continuous dialogue towards the resumption of oil production in Ogoni land. Leaders of Mossop, led by Professor Oluande Y. Ogusu, described the move as a significant shift in the federal government's approach, one that goes beyond mere access to resources and embraces genuine consultation and inclusion. The group noted that for the first time in over 3 decades since oil operations were suspended in 1993, the Ogoni people are being invited not only to participate in discussions, but also to help define the terms of engagement.
In anticipation of the oncoming engagements, Mossop hereby states again, in very clear terms, 1. Ogoni land will not approach the negotiation table casually, divided, or unprepared. We shall engage not as victims seeking appeasement, but as stakeholders with historical, moral, and economic leverage. Mossop therefore calls on the President of this country and also NNPCL, the NSA, and all involved parties to ensure that all negotiations are conducted transparently with clearly defined frameworks. No external entity will be imposed on Ogoni without broad-based consent. All resolutions are documented, legally binding, and monitored through third-party oversight. And that will mean international observers. The comprehensive report submitted to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, which is a simplified Ogoni Bill of Rights, remains the moral compass of these engagements. In conclusion, I now want to state that 31 years is a long time, and that we are now prepared to transition from resistance to responsible partnership, but only on structured, dignified, and equitable terms.
In the world of business, the adjustment of capital gains tax to 30% has been raising questions and concern possible impact on investors' sentiment. The partner, Tax, Regulatory and People Services, KPMG Akinwale Alao, who was a guest on Business Morning, believes that it is important to broaden understanding on the working of the capital gains tax and those who would largely be affected.
Under the new regime of the Nigeria Tax Act, there is a tax band that ranges from 0% all the way to 25%. So the maximum rate is 25%. And so individuals that have derived capital gains would report those capital gains as part of their chargeable income. And depending on the income band that they fall into, they would be liable to tax. But the highest rate would be at the rate of 25%. And it's also important to note that for individuals, the exemption threshold should really cover most of the individual investors. So any proceed, so disposals of shares that don't exceed 150 million naira in a year, and where the gains derived from those disposals are not more than 10 million naira, those gains will not qualify as chargeable gains, and so they will not be liable to tax. And I think majority of individual investors may fall into that category. And so you may find that, except the very wealthy people, many individuals that play in the stock market may not be liable to tax on the capital gains that they derive from the disposal of shares.
The Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, has disclosed that electricity distribution companies DISCOs collected 564.7 billion naira out of the total 742 billion naira billed to customers in the second quarter of 2025. According to the NERC's latest quarterly report, the collection efficiency for the period stood at 76.1%, reflecting a slight improvement from the previous quarter. The regulator noted that Ikeja, Echo, and Abuja DISCOs recorded the highest collection rates, while some other operators lagged behind due to poor metering and customer debt challenges. NERC adds that it will continue to monitor DISCOs' performance to ensure improved billing accuracy, collection efficiency, and overall service delivery across the power sector. Staying with the electricity sector, the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission has reported that electricity distribution companies DISCOs installed a total of 225,631 meters in the second quarter of 2025, representing a 20.6% increase compared to 187,161 meters installed in the first quarter. NERC attributed the rise in installations to intensified metering efforts under the Meter Asset Provider and National Mass Metering Program initiatives. Despite the improvements, the regulator noted that a significant number of electricity consumers remain unmetered, leading to continued reliance on estimated billing. The Commission says it will continue to push for full metering coverage to enhance transparency, reduce billing disputes, and improve revenue collection efficiency across the power sector. And that's it on Business and News at 5 at this hour. I'm Dominic Iwi. Up next is The World Today.